In Washington, a compelling political duel has occurred over the key issue of national security. In one corner, President Barack Obama, in the other, former Vice President Dick Cheney. The key point of contention is President Obama's plan to close the US prison at Guantanamo Bay. North America correspondent Kim Landers reports.
Good morning.
It's Obama versus Cheney, an historic confrontation between past and present, a political showdown over how to keep America safe.
But I also believe that all too often our government made decisions based on fear rather than foresight. That all too often our government trimmed facts and evidence to fit ideological predispositions.
When he faults or mischaracterizes the national security decisions we made in the Bush years, he deserves an answer.
In dueling televised speeches, each has defended their policies, while accusing the other of making America less safe.
I will explain the decisions that were made over the last 8 years established an ad hoc legal approach for fighting terrorism that was neither effective nor sustainable.
To the very end of our administration, we kept al-Qaeda terrorists busy with other problems. We focused on getting their secrets instead of sharing ours with them, and on our watch, they never hit this country again.
At the centre of the war of words is Guantanamo Bay. A defiant president is vowing no retreat on shutting it down.
We're cleaning up something that is quite simply a mess. A misguided experiment that has left in its wake a flood of legal challenges that my administration is forced to deal with on a constant, almost daily basis.
Some detainees will be tried in US courts, a few will be set free. Others will be held indefinitely without trial, including in US prisons, a step highly unpopular with Republicans and Democrats.
As we make these decisions, bear in mind the following fact. Nobody has ever escaped from one of our federal supermax prisons, which hold hundreds of convicted terrorists.
I think the President will find upon reflection that to bring the worst of the worst terrorists inside the United States would be cause for great danger and regret in the years to come.
The worst of the worst include self-confessed September the 11th mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the man linked to the 2002 Bali nightclub bombings, Hambali, and the man accused of planning the attack on the USS Cole. Kirk Lippold was the commander of the Navy destroyer. He says closing Guantanamo is dangerous.
And the clock's ticking. If in fact he intends to shutter the door on January 20th, you don't wait till January 20th to go out, herd everyone onto a plane, fly them someplace, and load them into a bus and transport them in shackles to a prison.
And he says it'll be impossible to try many of the detainees in US courts because the evidence against them was obtained on the battlefield.
The last thing you want to do is put a soldier in a position where he finishes a firefight and has to put down his weapon, whip out an evidence bag, collect a whole bunch of evidence just to prove that the guy he just captured was in fact trying to kill him, has sworn an oath to al-Qaeda, and in fact is a bad character that needs to be locked up for the duration of the conflict.
Dick Cheney's repudiation of the new president has also meant taking aim at what he calls the contrived indignation and phony moralising about harsh interrogation techniques.
It is a fact that only detainees of the highest intelligence value were ever subjected to enhanced interrogation. You've heard endlessly about waterboarding. It happened to 3 terrorists.
Barack Obama is using all the power of the presidency to rebut Dick Cheney, but he's still struggling to take command of the emotional debate over America's national security.
I think on national security, Obama has actually moved a little closer to some of Bush's policies as a result of Cheney's criticism. He understands that he is vulnerable in this area, and if there is another attack, he's going to become even more vulnerable.
So after round 1 of Obama versus Cheney, who won?
I don't see any clear-cut winner in this debate, but it certainly is extraordinary, and I don't remember the last time we've seen this head-to-head fight between 2 major political leaders.
And there's no sign that this high-stakes tug-of-war between Barack Obama and Dick Cheney will end. Kim Landers, Late Line.